What is going on YouTube? It is Sunday morning, 8:02. So I'm actually late for gym. Here where I live, gym only opens at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning, which is fine. It just means that I get to sleep in a little bit on a Sunday. I've been away this week, plagued by, do we call them technical difficulties? Otherwise today is leg day. Start the week off with legs because I'm sadistic like that. Today I think is going to be, I know it's hamstring focused, because I haven't been paying much attention to the hamstrings, not as much attention as I pay to my quads, and my calves are, well, in truth they're gorgeous, they're great. I never do calves. Jokes aside, they are pretty good for the fact that I never train them, just because they are fine. I don't actually need to train them all that much, and I can't really do much other than seated calf raises. I can't do the standing calf raises because it affects my back, and I feel terrible holding up an entire leg press machine just to do calves. And then it's technically it's sort of the same, I don't want to say the same problem I have, but it's I want to say it doesn't feel like I'm doing much, unless I do particularly heavy weight. But I think it's more the fact that I just don't like holding up the machine, because there aren't that many of them in this establishment. Anyway, that is probably enough out of me for now, because it's now, look at that, 4 minutes past 8, and I better get in there and do some stuff. I will see you after. What is going on YouTube? I am done with that session. It's now low battery. No, it's 10:18, and I feel great. That was it was actually a really good session. I'm not going to drive now, so I'm going to make this short because it's freaking toasty in this car. And there is a church across the road from the gym, which being Sunday means there's a service on, and it's really, really loud, and I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up, but anyway, onwards and upwards. As I was saying, that session was good. I started with hamstrings, with leg curls, because I felt like it was time for a change, and I wanted to see what it was like starting with hamstrings for a change. And because it's an exercise that is not systemically fatiguing, my body was still, I was actually still fine for leg presses, which I did next. And usually when I start with the leg press, and when I go from the leg press to the leg curl machine, I'm already exhausted, and so my hamstring curls, or the leg curls, and my hamstrings sort of suffer a little bit, I think. But then, yeah, today it felt great, and I feel like my hamstrings actually got a decent workout for a change, more than they do every other time. Yeah, then the leg extensions, geez, no difference. They're a bitch. They are, I don't know, it's just, afterwards I get off that machine and I struggle to walk. The leg pump is, the quad pump at least, is just ridiculous. And then I obviously go and get onto a treadmill, walk for 15 minutes as a sort of warm down. So it was a good session. And it's interesting when it comes to like the leg extensions, as I say, like, because I'm doing relatively, I want to say, medium to high rep sets. I usually do about 15. I aim for 15, and then I progressively step it up to 20 before I change the weight. And if I can get to 20 reps on at least 3 sets, then I might go up the following week. At the moment, I'm still sitting on between 13 and 15. And what I was noticing today, actually, I used to do martial arts, and I remember in training we used to do, our instructor used to do this thing where he would say, push-ups, go. He wouldn't say, like 20 push-ups or 50 push-ups or 100 push-ups. Just say, push-ups, go. And then he'd walk out of the room, and we'd have seniors that would watch over us, and they would count, but you just lose track eventually, because you don't know where you're going. Like, you don't know what the final number is. So your brain, it's a difficult one. It's such a huge psychological I want to say obstacle, but when you know how many you got to do, you sort of, when you start getting closer towards the end, things start getting more difficult. Well, I find anyway. But it's when you don't know how many you've got to go, you either one of those people who just gives up immediately, or you can keep going for much longer than you think. And that's this whole, when people talk about reps in reserve, people always say, you need to go to sort of 2 or 3 reps in reserve. That's the end of your set, kind of thing. So if you're going you're aiming for 15 reps, and your reps in reserve should be, like once you reach 15, you could actually go to about 18, but you stop at 15 because you're stopping 3 reps shy of your failure point. But if you're psychologically not able to reach that point because you're giving up before you're getting to the 3 reps in reserve, you think 3 reps in reserve is actually 12 reps, but 12 reps turns out to be 10 reps in reserve. You are not pushing yourself as hard as you could. So when you are focusing on this end goal, you're actually doing yourself a disservice, kind of thing. And so with the martial arts, we used to focus on the number that you were doing. So you would count 1 through 10, 1 through 10, and then you wouldn't go 11, 12, 13, 14. You'd start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. And you'd do it this way, but you would focus on the rep that you were on. And I used to have this image of the number just pop into my brain every time to try and at some point you forget about what it is that you're doing almost. And you go into this trance. And before you know it, you've done almost 100 push-ups. And you haven't given up. Whereas like when, you're told 25 push-ups or 30 push-ups, you kind of start giving up towards, the end of it. So, and now I've done, you've done more than double what you would normally do. And I guess what I'm trying to say is just your mind and your body are so much stronger when you believe in them and when you believe you can do something. Give it a try. Just, what have you got to lose at the end of the day? But it's just so, I want to say it's sad that most people don't give themselves enough credit, because they can do so much more than they think, than they're aware of, if they just try and they just push themselves. But a lot of the time people just give up because, for whatever reason, they don't think that they can, because they've believed something that somebody else has told them, or some old belief it's a limiting belief, and you've got to get past that at some point. And I think exercise and working out is probably one of the best ways to sort of help you realize what you're capable of, because it's so much easier to sort of focus on an exercise goal and to look at the progress and to sort of determine how far you've come, and look at sort of where you're going. It's easier to see your progress than it is with something like that's more or less tangible. So I guess that's the thought for the day. Is how strong are you, and where are your limiting beliefs? And that also like conjures up this whole image of, for me, like focusing on the number now, focusing on it's that same idea as focusing on the present and not thinking towards the future. You're focusing on right now. You don't realize how much you can do. Anyway, I've gone on for way too long. You guys have a great Sunday. I will see you all tomorrow for a huge push day. Really looking forward to that. Like this video if you like this video. Share it if you think somebody else will too. And I'll see you in the next one.